Of course, Ernie Abbott from Ouija Radio, our sister station right here on Spreaker.com. He broadcasts, as we do, not only across the country, but around the globe. That's right. Only on Spreaker.com. All right. Quickly, don't forget tomorrow night, let's start with tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, right here on Spreaker.com and the Sandsnet Radio Network. It's Sands and Abbott, a conversation where me and Ernie Abbott get together and we just, shoot the shit. We talk and whatever comes up, and that's how it's been going for the last, 9 months or so. So don't forget to tune in for that. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, Night Talk. Or 10 o'clock. I'm not quite sure. Oh, yeah. It's 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Saturday is 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Rick will be in the chair here at Night Talk, and he'll take you on into the weekend. And, of course, Saturday night, 8 o'clock, it's The Harbinger with Ernie Abbott, who plays some great music. He gets you set up and ready to go for Night Talk Weekend Edition. It starts at, I believe, 9 o'clock. Or 10 o'clock. I don't even know the times anymore. This is ridiculous. I must sound like an idiot on this show. My station, I don't even know what time the show starts. Because I know they were playing with the times on Saturday, but it's 10 o'clock on Saturday. So it's 8 o'clock. I got it now. Here it is. It's 9 o'clock. 10. Oh, Jesus. Never mind. Just don't forget to listen in, will you please? Wow. I can't believe my mind is in so many different directions tonight. I can't even think correctly. All right, it's time to straighten out and get things going here. Let's just take a check into the chat room and see Brown-Eyed Girl. That's right. She showed up. She's here with us. Yes, hellfire, I say there, Zodiac. I am the god of hellfire. Or better yet, let's do it this way. I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. Yeah. And, hi ho, hi ho. The aforementioned Rick is in the house. Thanks for stopping by, Rick. That's right, Ricky Sands from Weekend Edition and Night Talk during the week. So thank you for stopping by. It's now 12 p.m. Aussie time, and I know that because our buddy Andrew's from Australia, and he's out there listening to the show, as we have people all over the world that listen to the show. We've got people in England, in Scotland, all over I can't even remember half of them, Jamaica, all over the world listen to this show. So we want to thank you all for that. We do appreciate it. And I think it's time to get going. Here's what I'm going to do. And we're going to take some time on this because it's going to take a little while. Please bear with me. It's worth listening to. I'm going to read this story. And then I'm going to comment on the story. And then I'm going to actually send you to the website where you can get this information for yourself. You can check it out for yourself because that's what we want you to do. We need you to look at this stuff and make your own determination. But I'm going to give you my take on what this is. And the headline is Gender Inclusive. School district says drop boys and girls, call kids purple penguins. Are you with me on this so far? The story is by Ted Starnes. All right. And here we go. And Ted writes, the fine folks who run the school system in Lincoln, Nebraska, are on a campaign to make their classrooms gender inclusive. And that means teachers will no longer refer to boys and girls as, well, boys and girls. Quote, don't use phrases such as boys and girls, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, and similarly gendered expressions to get kids' attention. Reads a handout from the Lincoln Public Schools that was given to teachers. The handout was part of an effort to educate teachers and administrators about gender issues, educators told the Lincoln Journal-Star. Instead of asking boys and girls to line up as boys and girls, teachers have been encouraged to segregate the children by whether they prefer skateboards or bikes, or whether they like milk or juice. Quote, The agenda we're promoting is to help all kids succeed, unquote, said Linda Leggiardo, the district's coordinator of social workers and counselors. Quote, she said, "We have kids who come to us with a whole variety of circumstances, and we need to equitably serve all kids," unquote. So, instead of asking boys and girls to line up as boys and girls, teachers have been encouraged to segregate the children by whether they prefer skateboards or bikes or whether they like milk or juice. Quote, "Always ask yourself, will this configuration create a gendered space," unquote. This is what's in the handout, by the way. The handout provided by Gender Spectrum, a website which provides education, training, and support to help create a gender-sensitive and inclusive environment for children of all ages, does not explain what to do if all of the children like juice or skateboards. But it does suggest teachers, quote, "create classroom names and then ask all of the purple penguins to meet at the rug." Purple penguins? The Nebraska Watchdog website published copies of the handouts titled 12 Easy Steps on the Way to Gender Inclusiveness. I'm going to give you that address in just a little while, ladies and gentlemen, so you can go there and read them for yourself. And we're going to go over them in a little while. The documents are chock full of all sorts of advice for teachers as they deconstruct and reconstruct the notion of what constitutes a boy and what constitutes a girl. To avoid offense, those terms will henceforth be known as the B word and the G word. Oh, man. Quote, "Provide an opportunity for every student to identify a preferred name or pronoun," unquote, the document reads. "At the beginning of the year or at back-to-school night, invite students and parents to let you know if they have a preferred name and or pronoun by which they wish to be referred," unquote. Wait till I get to that one when we come back. Back when I was in school, teachers only asked kids if they'd like to be referred to by their first name or their middle name, of course. I went to school during the dark ages. The document also provides teachers with information to prevent kids from getting bullied on the playground. They suggest teaching kids to use phrases like, "Please respect my privacy," and "Hey, they're called private parts for a reason." Yes, sir. That's the kind of tough talk we should definitely dissuade that will definitely dissuade playground bullies, right? Teachers were also encouraged to share anecdotes from their own lives, quote, "that reflect gender inclusiveness," unquote. Here's another quote. "Even better, share examples when you are not gender inclusive in your thinking, words, or behaviors. What you learned as a result, and what you will do differently next time," unquote, the handout states. I wonder if teachers are allowed to opt out of the part of the assignment. Perhaps they could tell the kids they're called private parts for a reason. Let me read that again. I wonder if teachers are allowed to opt out of that part of the assignment. Phrases, perhaps they could tell the kids they're called private parts for a reason. Back when I was in school, the only thing the teacher did was read nursery rhymes like Rub-a-Dub-Dub. It was the dark ages, folks. It was an incredibly insensitive time in our nation's history when girls were girls and men were men, with respect to Archie Bunker. To illustrate its point, the district provided an illustration of a gingerbread man. Well, there I go again. How insensitive of me. It's it's a gingerbread person. But for the sake of the teachers, the illustration was called a genderbread person. Clever, right? Well, the genderbread person was created by social justice comedian Sam Killerman, who knew there was such a thing. But word on the street is that social justice people have quite the funny bone. Quote, "Gender is one of those things everyone thinks they understand, but most people don't," Killerman wrote. Like Inception, gender isn't binary. It's not either or. In many cases, it's both and a bit of this, a dash of that. This tasty little guide is meant to be an appetizer for gender understanding. It's okay if you're hungry for more facts. That's the idea. Can you believe this stuff? So, what are the B words and G words supposed to call Superman and Wonder Woman? Super being and wonder entity? And I suspect some schools will have to rename their athletic teams like the Smith County Cowpersons. As you might imagine, some parents are not all that happy with the gender inclusiveness agenda. Rachel Terry fired off an email to other moms and dads accusing the district of social reengineering. Good for her. The Journal Star obtained a copy of her email. She said the district was using taxpayer dollars to promote, quote, the destruction of fundamental family and religious values, unquote. God damn it, finally, somebody had the nerve to say something to these people. Fantastic. In her defense, Miss Terry probably grew up in the dark ages too, when little G words wore dresses and little B words wore husky jeans. One school district official rejected her argument and said it was not pushing a political or religious agenda, nor was it pushing a sexual preference on people. Quote, part of education in addition to academics is the feeling of welcomeness, the relationship piece, unquote, said district official Rush Hewing. In its quest for welcomeness, perhaps the districts could ban all homework and allow children to eat cupcakes in the lunchroom. I'm sure the B words and G words might freely welcome those changes. Still, the folks at Gender Spectrum admit there will be times when teachers will have to use a gender-specific term. Quote, when you find it necessary to reference gender, say boy, girl, or both, or neither, the handout states. Quote, when asked why, use this as a teachable moment. Emphasize to students that your classroom recognizes and celebrates the gender diversity of all students, unquote. And that, dear readers, is a glimpse into what they're teaching kids in public schools these days. And while we're on the subject, what's a gender-neutral term for morons? That was written by Todd Starnes, ladies and gentlemen, on the net. Okay? Now, I got to tell you, it's a great article. I love the way he did it. I love the way he wrote it. He got his zings in there. I mean, this should wake you up, ladies and gentlemen. Really, it should. This is what's happening in our public schools. All right. This is the reason that they don't want to have charter schools in this country. Because if garbage like this persists, families can take the money that the government gives your child. You can take that voucher and go to another school where they'll teach them about our history and teach them how to be, boys and girls. Okay. And instead of this corrupt garbage, this agenda pushing shit that they're putting out. And thank God, people are getting attuned to this stuff. They are trying to bend the will of our children to the way that they want things to be. They being the progressives in this country, the left in this country, the liberals in this country. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. And again, I go back to the same argument. This Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party of old anymore, where you could get things done. They had an agenda, but you know what? They were basically on the same page with the Republicans back then. They both fucked up the country, but at least they loved their country, and they weren't looking to change the fundamentals of this country. But they're starting with our children. This is grade school. This isn't kindergarten, lady. Well, maybe it is. I don't know, but he didn't mention in the article. But I'm assuming by the picture I'm looking at, it's grade school and not kindergarten. Well, grade school, you know what I'm saying. But if this continues to happen and you allow this to happen in your schools, where does it stop? Now they have the minds of your children. If you don't step in, you're going to lose them, man. You're going to lose them. This is Lincoln, Nebraska now. Let me look through this here.